Hello everyone, welcome to this first video in a series on preparing and painting a metal dragon. In this episode, I'll show you the technique I use to securely attach all the parts together. Here are the tools I'll be using to assemble the model. You can also see the 3D printed base I'm gonna stick the dragon on once it's painted. To ensure the model is sturdy and strong, I'll guide you through the process of properly aligning and pinning the joint with paperclip bits. Alright, let's get started. Last year I stumbled upon a model that caught my eye. A rampaging red dragon from Thunderbolt Mountain Miniature, standing at about 6.5 inch long and 5.5 inch tall. Unfortunately, the model had seen better days. The paint was peeling off and the glue between the parts had broken, leaving the dragon in a bad shape. To give the model a new lease on life, I carefully detached the wing that was still attached to the body and stripped off the old paint with Versul paint thinner. Using an old toothbrush, I scrubbed away the remaining paint from every nook and cranny. However, I decided not to disassemble the lower jaw, which was still securely attached to the neck. As you can see, almost all the mold lines were already removed, and most of the details are still sharp. Although Thunderbolt Mountain Miniature no longer exists, the model is still available under the name Greater Red Dragon through Ralpata Legacy. I'll leave a link to their website in the description below. To prepare the piece for pinning, I carefully create a flat surface where I'll drill the hole. This ensures that the tool will drill straight. While test fitting the wing, I noticed some leftover glue that needs to be removed. With a steady hand and my trusty craft knife, I carefully scrape away the excess glue. As I continue fitting the pieces together, I notice that the wing doesn't quite follow the shape of the body. To fix this, I gently bend the wing to give it a more natural appearance. I take extra care to protect the wing from any damage by layering folded paper between it and the pliers. Using the tip of my craft knife, I make a small pilot hole where I want to place the pin. Then I carefully drill a hole using a manual craft drill. To ensure that the hole is deep enough for a strong bound, I use a simple trick. I push the drill bit at the bottom of the hole, then gently press my fingernail against it as I pull it out. This gives me a sense of the depth of the hole, so I know if it's deep enough for the pin. I repeat the drilling process for another hole farther down the wing. For the next step, I'll need a short piece of paperclip. To ensure safety, I carefully position the end of the paperclip downward before cutting it. This way, the free end falls harmlessly onto the desk instead of potentially flying around the room. Next, I carefully apply a small amount of red paint to the tip of the pin. With the paint in place, I fit the wing into the body to mark the exact spot where I need to drill the next hole. The red paint leaves a clear indication where the hole needs to be. This will ensure the perfect alignment between the two parts. With the mark in place, I carefully drill the second hole, making sure to keep it as parallel as possible with the hole on the wing. This is not obvious. In this case, I drill as perpendicular as possible to the body, since I drilled the wing perpendicular to the surface that will be in contact with the body. But don't worry too much. As I will show you later, it's possible to slightly correct the situation if the holes are not perfectly aligned. Again, I check if the hole is deep enough to ensure a strong bond. I use the same method of measuring as before, placing my fingernail on the drill and carefully pulling it out. Then I place the tip of the drill at the edge of the hole. This gives me the approximate depth of the hole. Next, I remove the short piece of paperclip to replace it with a longer one. I use a regular paperclip. I cut it slightly longer and then adjust it to the final length. Then I use the same technique to mark the position of the other hole. With a steady hand and focused attention, I position my tool so as to drill the second hole parallel to the first one. If these two holes are not parallel, it will be impossible to enter the pins. After filing, cutting and adjusting the paperclip, the wing is already so secure that it holds in place without the need for glue. It's a good sign that the assembly will be strong. Repeating the same procedure for the other wing, I take care to file, drill and adjust the paperclip pin with precision and focus. As a recap, I'll show you quickly before moving on to the other parts. It's important to note that lead and pewter have low melting points, so when the drill bit starts to grip, I must pull back to clean it and prevent it from breaking. It can be tricky to remove a drill bit that's stuck in metal, especially if there is no other place to install a pin to solidify the joint. So I take my time drilling each hole and watch the drill bit to see if it's warping. Again, I carefully ensure that the two holes are as parallel as possible, taking my time to ensure accuracy and precision. As you can see, the pins are already firmly holding the wing in place, a good sign that the assembly will be sturdy and durable. As I mentioned before, the lower jaw is already firmly glued to the neck. I'll just need to sculpt some scales with green stuff. I just make sure the surface is clean and remove the remaining glue before drilling a hole for the pin. I apply some red paint to the tip of the pin and mark the surface of the other piece exactly where I need to drill it. Voila! Once again, the alignment is perfect. After giving the rear leg a final inspection, I take time to remove any remaining glue residue. With all parts clean and adjusted, I'm ready to move on to the next step. I take great care to repeat the same procedure for the 4 legs, filing, drilling and adjusting the paperclip pins. Once I've drilled all the necessary holes and cut the pins to the correct length, I use Gorilla Super Glue to secure them in place. To ensure a perfect fit, I carefully measure and cut the paperclip to the right length. After some additional checks, I make the final cuts. The alignment looks much better now. To ensure a strong bound, I apply glue on both the pin and the entire surface of the leg that will come into contact with the dragon's body. I hold the pieces firmly together for at least 30 seconds. The alignment is spot on, and there's only a minimal gap around the leg. As you can see here, the alignment is not that good on this side. As I mentioned earlier, there's an effective way to fix this problem. Whenever there's an alignment issue like this one, I simply use pliers to gently bend the end of the paperclip into the correct angle. This ensures a perfect fit. It's important to bend the pin at its base, directly where it exits the part. The pin must also remain straight. If it's bent, it will not enter the hole. I can now secure the leg in place with a generous layer of glue. Then I repeat the same process for the front leg, taking care to achieve the same level of precision. Next, I move on and glue the tail in place. The parts are all well aligned, and more importantly, With all the pins in place, the assembly seems to be very solid. It's time to attach the neck to the body. I hold the two pieces together firmly for at least 30 seconds. This will ensure a strong bond. Now that all the limbs are in place, I take a moment to appreciate the stunning design of this model. I can't wait to bring it to life with some paint. Before moving on and attaching the wings, I make sure to double check the pins for any excess glue and give everything a final inspection. With the two pins perfectly aligned, I'm now ready to attach the wing. To add some movement, I shape the wing into a more dramatic and dynamic pose. Check out how the subtle bend in the wing gives it a more natural, life-looking appearance. Now it's time to secure the wing in place with super glue. I'm careful to remove any excess glue before it sets, ensuring a clean finish. With one wing in place, I'm delighted with the alignment, and I can't wait to attach the other. Finally, I'll let the glue cure overnight to ensure a strong and stable hold. I hope you found this video informative and enjoyable. If you did, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribing to my channel to stay updated on the next part of this series. In the upcoming video, I will demonstrate how I prepared the base for the dragon. Thanks for watching everyone, and take care.